it seemed like a good idea at the time. Hello everyone, I'm Taylor Bambico. I'm a self-published author of young adult urban fantasy, adult thriller, and erotica, and today marks 1 year I've been on YouTube. I will say one thing for sure, it's been a very interesting year. Though I first started this channel, I think it was like September 18th, 2018. Well, I was close anyway. And though that was the day I started this account, turns out July 31st is my YouTube anniversary. And now I forgot what I was going to say next. Oh, that's right. So with that being the case, I figured today's video would just be a bit of me ranting on about different videos I've done in the past. Well, some of them anyway. So the very first video I ever did was the AuthorTube newbie tag, and at that point I was just setting this very camera on a stack of the books I had, my actual books, not books I bought, my actual stories I wrote, and earlier drafts of them, just stacked yay high on a desk. I don't know which desk it was. I was using this camera and I had it propped up. In fact, I had the lens cover underneath the lens to get it to where it was just situated just fine, to where it looked okay. And it was zoomed in too close, and I was speaking very slow at that point because I'm like, okay, I don't know exactly how to do this. We're just gonna hit record and go from there. And I look back at how, when I did that video, I was just having to use natural daylight, and I can only film from about 11 to 2 in the afternoon. Now that I have actual light and a better microphone, I can pretty much do this anytime I want. In fact, the video where I talked about the short story Bigfoot, that was filmed I think at about 11 at night, maybe 12 midnight, something like that. And I'm like, why did I do it at that time? Well, I just had the opportunity to be able to do it, and I ran with it. And then of course there's videos in between them. I look back on how bad they were, but I realized if I hadn't done those, I wouldn't be where I am at now. And some of them I was talking way too fast. I mean, in my very first video, I was talking way too slow, then I was talking too fast where you couldn't really understand what I'm saying, just like I'm doing right now. Then I was able to just dial it down to where it was just, I guess you'd say, perfect? But it's been a very interesting journey over the course of this year, and how I was actually able to kind of learn YouTube a little bit and help and use it to actually promote my other work, and also get into more of the firearms part of YouTube. And actually, that's a lot of fun, dude. It's a lot of fun do. I mean, the gun videos were a lot of fun to do. I mean, I use this camera and the smaller camera. For instance, in the Nintendo Zapper Glock 17L video, I showed both me shooting and the target. Nailed it! Then of course here in the Car 15 clone video, you see the shooting and then me dropping down and reloading. I mean, that was a lot of fun to do and try and figure that out. It's a lot of fun to actually go to the range and film shooting and all that. Now, of course, this channel wasn't specifically meant just for firearms. My main priority is writing. The firearms is just kind of the bonus content, I guess you could say. But I'll be doing more firearms content as time goes on. It's a lot of fun. The writing videos, writing videos are a lot of fun. The gun videos are a lot of fun. I guess you'd say it's the same to me. In fact, just this last week, I was shooting with an AR-15, and I was worried I was going to actually damage the lens with this camera because I put on a loudener. Well, technically it's a muzzle brake and flash hider, but it makes the firearm a lot louder, and I'm like, oh boy. I was concerned I was going to shatter the lens. I'm sure it probably wouldn't have happened, but you never know. I don't really want to crack that. In fact, in another video I did, this one I did back in September of last year, that was the one with the 1978 Ford F-150 Ranger. Most of the shots I did with that, the camera was in the right position to where it would just clear it each time, but then, well, here, let me just, I had this video I did on Instagram here, just watch this real quick. So I'm filming a video and I figured, oh, this will clear, no problem. Well, I kind of hit the lens with the differential on this vehicle. When that happened, that was the loudest thunk I had heard. I'm like, oh god, don't be broken, don't be broken, don't be broken. I mean, I figured, oh, it cleared just fine. It's gonna be no problem. Every other scene was just fine. But then I just looked at it, okay, it's just cosmetically damaged, it's gonna be okay, but still, I did not want to have to replace the lens on this camera. In fact, it's the same camera I'm using now. But that was a fun video to shoot. I actually did that over the course of 2 days. The first, like, 30 seconds was one day, then the next 30 seconds was a week after. So I had to kind of, some of the footage was not right. I actually had a camera set on top of the air filter and aimed down. That didn't work. In fact, that footage, that the vibration from the engine shook and the camera fell down. I was worried it was going to hit by the fan blade. That was funny. In fact, here's the footage from that. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but back on the subject of why I started YouTube and how I was using it to promote my works, hang on a second. Had to wake the computer up again so I can make sure that it's recording the audio still. What was I saying? Oh, why I was using YouTube as a platform to... Don't you hate that when you have have a train of thought and then you lose it, then it comes back. I decided to use YouTube as just the platform to help get my name out there more and promote my works, and also just have fun telling everyone about my works. It's a lot more fun. I mean, yes, I'm on Twitter, that's fun. Yes, I'm on Instagram, that's fun as well. But sometimes a video works much better than just a picture or just a... Well, I know the phrase, a picture worth 1,000 words, but sometimes video is better than just a still picture. You can actually hear me talking and actually get the emotion I'm trying to say. Not the emotion, well, when you read something, you could read it really monotone and be really bad, or you have a lot of excitement, then you know exactly how I'm feeling as I'm portraying the story for you. Something like that, anyway. So, I mean, that's the great thing about YouTube. I can actually... This is over. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Whoa, up, down. No, this is, yeah, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. But yeah, it's a lot more fun here. I can do that, and you can actually see me more. See me more. It's almost like a tongue twister. I just popped my knuckles there. You don't say. And an interesting thing when I started to use this platform more is a prominent individual who later on committed suicide from the official report. Funny how that individual is somewhat similar to a character in my book, Traffic, and how that story seems less and less like fiction and more plausible every day as more and more stuff comes to light. Had I published that a few years prior, it just would have been written off as not just a psychological thriller, but a conspiracy theory thriller, a conspiracy novel. But it's just, the more I look at that and the more that stuff is, as I said, coming to light, it's like, are you sure this is just a work of fiction? Yes, Traffic is just a work of fiction from my imagination, but a lot of interesting things are just coming to light, and I just find that is very, I should say odd, but also perfect timing for that story to be available. In fact, that novel is selling better than Parabellum and Silent Rage, I think combined, actually. I mean, Silent Rage I don't promote as much, just because the erotica it's fun to write, you just have to find the right market for it, and honestly, even though it's my pride and joy, it's just one of the more difficult books to sell, but it is very interesting. It was one of my favorite stories, well, even though Traffic is my favorite novel of all three. I mean, I like all of them equally. Funny, how can you say you like them all equally, but you like Traffic the most? Well, it's my book, I can say whatever I want. But I mean, I'm working on the sequel for Parabellum. Yes, I'm still working on it right now. And I'm also working on the sequel to Silent Rage. Well, one of the sequels, there's going to be 3 novels in that one, apparently. But the second one is probably going to be, I shouldn't say probably, it will be more of a novella, not a full-length novel. And I said, the sequel to Silent Rage, I said that. The sequel of Parabellum is under development, and some other stuff I'm also working on. In fact, whenever this very song is actually playing, let's just enjoy it for a few more seconds, shall we? Great song, I know, right? Whenever that song is playing, generally I'm talking about one of my WIPs, which I'll be doing more videos on that as time goes along. But generally, whenever that song is playing, that means you're going to be learning something about a story I'm working on, or maybe one that I'm going to announce later on. So just take note when you hear that song playing in the background. So anyway, this was just going to be a somewhat short, maybe somewhat long, depends on how much I edit this video down, of just how it's been 1 year since I uploaded my first video to YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. I was just going on a rant. There wasn't going to be much to this video. It's just for everyone who stuck around, not anyone, for everyone who stuck around. I think I'm up to 82 subscribers at the time of this video, which honestly, I think is cool. I'm like, oh, it's great. It's just going up, 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 up. And hopefully it doesn't go down. I mean, let's just go up, keep going up, keep going up. But it's been a lot of fun. But yes, I am enjoying doing these videos. And I do recommend to any author out there who's watching this video, if you're thinking about starting a channel, I do recommend doing it. It's a lot of fun, a lot of work, but anything worth doing is going to have some challenges, and honestly, it will help you grow as an author. You'll meet other people here on YouTube who do the same thing as you, and it really is a lot of fun. Frustrating at times, but a lot of fun. I mean, think about it. How often is your writing frustrating, but you still do it? See what I mean? Yeah, I mean, here's to another year on YouTube, maybe more. Just depends on, well, hopefully more. It should be more. I have no intention of stopping. In fact, when I started, I had no intention of ever stopping YouTube. I just wanted to keep on going. So here's to several more years on YouTube. Well, as I've said in just about every video I've done so far, well, I think it was every video, not just some of the videos, but every video I've done so far. As always, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Click that bell icon so you're notified when I upload new content. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and have a good day. See ya!